Happy Monday. If you're watching on a replay, let me know in the comments, #replay. I am on my own today, so things are going to be a little bit different, but we'll give everybody a minute or two to pop on. Let's see. So because Melissa's not on and I am, I'm going to try and put some links in the comments on Facebook before I get too far into things, just so they're there. So let's see how I do as you come on. Tell me hi, tell me what you're working on. I'm gonna try and not mess things up too much. So Melissa is on the road, on her honeymoon, on her way somewhere fun. Hi, Nicole, watching with your mom. Are your mom and dad in town? That's awesome. Hi, Mama. How did I not know that that was happening? So oops, as I'm chatting, I'm also trying to put links to all the things I'm going to try and talk about tonight in the comments because Melissa's not here to help me. So I'm trying to do it all ahead of time. So you should, as I talk about things, oops, you should be able to scroll back through to see them as we talk. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Cheryl. Last leave your beekeeper, like the Marie Green beekeeper. Is that the one you're talking about? Um, yeah, that's one that I started and just never finished. Those sleeves, man, the decreases and trying to fuss around with the pattern repeats. I think it just it was taking too much brain space when I was trying to work on it back in the day. Hi, Joyce. Hi, Patty. Okay, let me see if I got everything. That. Just throwing a bunch of patterns in the comments. I wish I could put photos in the comments because one of the things I'm going to talk about today is pretty cool, but it's not an actual pattern on Revelry. So I don't have a link that I can post. So we're just gonna go with it. Hi, Noelle. Cheryl making them long sleeves. Oh, awesome. Sherry, hi. Okay, I that. Got that. Okay. I think I've got all the links in there. Can you guys tell me, like, if you scroll back and look at the comments that have happened already, can you see some or all of the links that I posted? I assume if you join late, you still can scroll back and look at comments that have already been made before you join, but I'm not really sure. Or maybe they only show up after the fact, after it's done and posted. I don't know. But let's go ahead and get started because it's after 7 and I'm running late. 6 links. Okay, I think that was it. Thank you, Patty. I appreciate that. Welcome to Monday Motivation. Today is Monday, September 15th. I just wrote it twice and typed it out twice and I still good. Excellent. Hi, Quinn. Hi, Shar. I'm flying solo. This past weekend was Melissa's wedding weekend. Our Melissa, that's usually on here with me. So she is in the car, probably in the car. She's on her way to her honeymoon with her new guy. So how dare she? How dare she plan being gone on a Monday? So she can't help me with things. But it was a fun weekend. The wedding went beautifully. Of course, there were some hiccups, but there always are, and that makes for good stories. Hi, Chris. But we had a great weekend. The weather was absolutely beautiful. We actually did have to move the ceremony inside because it was a little too warm. And a week and a half ago, I would not have thought that would be the case because I was pretty sure summer was over. But it's not. It's still nice and toasty out there today. So, I got a little distracted. So, Monday motivation. Today is the 15th. Okay. My name is Kristen. I'm the owner of the little yarn shop located in Saginaw, Michigan, inside the SVRC Marketplace. The marketplace hours are Wednesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Shop hours for the little yarn shop are Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday nights, Deb and or Ashley host drop-in knitting help in the front lobby, while most of the time I'm in the shop doing these lives. Man, you guys, I'm out of practice. I missed 2 weeks and it's like I haven't done it in forever, but I've missed everybody. Hi, Mary, working on your Ridgeview tea. Awesome. Um, but we're gonna get back on track. At least I get to see people in the shop when I'm here, but I miss talking to everybody on Monday nights too. And I have piles around me. I'm probably not gonna get to it all tonight. But that's okay. I'll have more to talk about next week. So let's talk about what I'm wearing. I did not make this. The pattern may look familiar. I made this pattern in a different color, but this is the slipping sideways tee. So it's a fingering weight sweater. What's really cool about it is you knit these two panels, the front panel and then a back panel, and then you pick up along the sides. So there is seaming along the underarms. I'm sunburned. I'm not sunburned, Mom. I'm sun-kissed. It's I'm a little bit red. I sat out there for a little while today, but my wonderful talented mother made this and loaned it to me to put on display, and also complained that it was a little bit big for her. So it just so happens to fit me nicely. But one of the fun things about it, in addition to the fact that it's a really cool pattern. So again, I can't post links as we're chatting about things, but if you scroll back up to the top now or when we're done, and this posts onto the Facebook page or the YouTube channel. Well, I don't have the links on the YouTube channel, but I do have them on the Facebook page. And all the links are at the top of the comments. If you sort the comments in order, I think that's what happens. You may they may be out of order a little bit. I'm not sure. Because at least on mine, it gives me ways to sort it, like by most popular comments or most recent comments. So I think if you go to all, then you can scroll back and look at all the links that I post. But the pink that my mom used for this sweater is our custom Friendship Gardens custom color from last year from Ridiculous. So it's this beautiful, beautiful pink with the sparkle in it. And then the white that she used was the Hi, Aunt Jackie. Fingering weight sparkle yarn from Plymouth Yarns that we don't have in white right now, but we have it in other colors. I'm just looking for one so I can remember the name of it because I don't remember the name. I know I have it. I just don't see it anywhere. This stuff, but in white, Electra Light. So the white sparkle yarn that's in the top that I'm wearing is the white version of this Electra Light yarn. So, although it would look pretty cool with the black too. Oh, that would pop beautifully if you didn't mind knitting on black, that would be fun. So what's fun about this pattern also is that you pretty much need either 3 skeins or 5 skeins to do the top. Either one of your contrast color and two of your main, or 2 of your contrast color and 3 of your main. And it's very easy to modify. I think my mom made the sleeves a little bit longer than what it calls for. I can't remember if we talked about that or not. But it's a fun pattern. She did a beautiful job. It used their custom color, so I'm excited about it. So that's a finished thing. I finished my piss and vinegar wrap. I don't think I had this finished in block last time. Let me look at my notes. No, I was working on it and was swatching for my retro sweater. Okay. So the Casapinka mystery knit along for September for not for September because we're in September. August was the Hiss and Vinegar. So it's an asymmetrical shawl. This is why I like being in a chair that has wheels, because I can just wheel myself backwards. But it's long. But it's kind of long and narrow. You could, when I blocked it, I did not pin it at all. I just laid it out and blocked it. But each week you got a little bit of a clue or a little portion of the pattern. So like this was week 1 and that was week 2, approximately. I don't remember exactly what they are. I didn't pin this and block it. I just got it soaking wet, spun it out, and then just laid it out to dry across my drying rack. And I really like this style of wrap because it's wide enough that you can wrap it around your shoulders if you need to. And there's still a lot left to kind of cozy up into, but it's also because it's 3 skeins of fingering weight yarn, light enough to just wrap like a standard scarf and have it not be too bulky or in the way. The colors are perfect fall colors. We're getting there as we were driving back from the DeWitt, Lansing, Langsburg area, noticing all the trees that are changing. And I'm trying to not get too depressed about the fact that winter is coming because I do love fall. I love fall colors. I love just the maple trees when they start to change. And this kind of has that vibe to it. So the 3 skeins that I used are all the Wonderland Yarns confetti. And their confetti is a fingering weight tweed with sparkle. It's a very subtle sparkle. And I know I had this issue before where on Facebook, like it doesn't even pick up any of the sparkle. The YouTube video does, but so the colors I used are Cottywomple, Mushroom, and Mind the Volcano. And you get this really, really great taupe, rust, and gold fall colors. Hi, Oriana. Good to see you. Good to see your name. I love all the posts the beautiful pictures you've been posting lately. They're gorgeous. Uh-oh, I just froze up. Somebody else tell me if I froze up or if it's just Shars for some reason. Okay, so that's what I finished. Need to find somewhere to put all this stuff. Look at my other screens and see. My feeds look okay, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. So, okay. I froze too. Huh. Some people say I'm fine. Some people say I froze. I don't know. If it doesn't unfreeze, you may need to close out Facebook and then go back into it. It may have something to do with the device, the type of device you're on. That I'm only partially tech savvy. Yeah. Pam, that's what I said. You may need to refresh. Okay, so that's things that are finished. What am I working on? I am working on my retro sweater slowly. This pattern is not a super quick knit. So this is the retro sweater in 1 color. This is the one last month that everybody voted on about which project, which sweater I should do. This is the photo that they show in 3 colors. It's hard to tell, but there's like a white, cream, and a green in that. And I am using 3 colors of our Molly Klein yarns in DK weight. This is the fingering weight, but we're going to talk about that because that's going to be probably in my Stephen West mystery knit along. But that's the fingering weight. But the 3 colors that I'm using are the light gray, the dark gray, and the blue. And yes, I know it's kind of looking fairly Detroit Lions-ish, but I love blues and grays together. And, you know, I'm a Michigan girl, so a Detroit Lions sweater is not a terrible thing either. Hi, Teresa. So working away on this, I've gotten the back and front done. I've gotten to the point where I've joined and I'm working on the body now. So now I'm going in the round. It's got this really cool, just like two slip stitches along the underarms on each side that kind of give it a neat look. Don't pay attention to the holes that are in there. That's just because I haven't woven all my ends in yet. The one downside with this is there are a lot of ends to weave in, but if you were so inclined to weave your ends in a way that they were pretty invisible, this would be a really fun reversible sweater. So you can see the texture in here and it looks really complicated, but it's mostly just knits and purls. There are a couple rows like where it transitions and there are some like knit one, slip one. Really, that's the most complicated thing. It's either knit one, purl a row, knit a row. That's essentially all this is. But when you purl with the first row of one color, you get those little contrasty lines like that. A lot of times in garter stitch, we see that on the wrong side, but this is intentionally done so you see a lot of that on the right side. But if you were to look at the inside of this, the inside texture is really cool too. So if you were really careful about weaving in your ends, I have not been. So my ends are still sticking out all over the place. But if you were really careful about weaving in your ends, you could probably make this a reversible sweater because both sides have a really cool texture to them. So I'm slowly working my way on this. And it's not that it's at all difficult. It just really is taking time because it's not just knit all the way around. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm very happy with it. And it's got a really unique construction. So you start, that's the best way to show this. You start with the stitches between my fingers and are very quick increases as you knit to make it wide enough to go across your shoulders and down the back. And then when you pick up and knit to go over the front of the shoulders, you pick up along this edge seam. So you get that really cool look here that also is kind of what's mirrored under the arm. So I'm just working away on that, taking my time, and it will have sleeves because it's going to be a cozy, nice sweater. The yarn is so squishy. So it's a DK weight yarn, uses either one or three colors of a DK weight yarn. It is an oversized boxy sweater, so it does use a good bit of yarn. But that's just the nature of the beast. If you knit a big sweater, you need yarn for it. So that is what I'm working on. What is coming up next? Two things. One is the mystery knit along from Stephen West of West Knits. So that kicks off in October. I think it's the first Thursday, the 4 Thursdays in October, a clue releases. So I can't, let's see. I think I can tilt up my, oops, nope, everything is too connected. I might be able to do this briefly. Hopefully I don't mess up too much, but if you look way up there, I've got on the Facebook feed anyway, you can see the past Stephen West mystery knit alongs. No, I gotta fix this so it's not all wonky and hopefully you guys don't fall over because that stand is not the greatest. We've done quite a few of the mystery knit alongs with him in the past. Every October, he hosts a mystery knit along, and this year is no different. This year, his theme is Mystery Musicale, K-A-L. And so it's got kind of a music theme to it. Here's his little graphic. Look how cute that is. It calls for 4 colors. And he does go through quite a bit of, quite a few ideas of colors that play well together. It's pretty much all solids. He said you can use a speckle. He really recommends October 2nd. Thank you, Teresa. Um, he really recommends you stay away from variegated yarns. If you use a speckle, he recommends that it be pretty different than any of the other colors that you use. But he's got some ideas there. And then, so this is if you do the pre-order for his pattern, you get like a 8-page PDF of color ideas, swatching ideas, gauge. So it takes 4 skeins, 4 different colors of fingering weight yarn, anywhere from 400 to 430 yards. So he gives kind of some basic ideas, like if you were to do gradient colors, and they're all going to play together. So like it's not going to be a gradient shawl where it goes from dark to light or light to dark. They're all going to play together. For complementary colors or tertiary, primary, tertiary, like 4 colors that work well together, or 3 neutrals and a pop of color. Just as kind of a direction to go. So I had put out last week on Facebook to get some input about whether I should do, I gave everybody 3 different options. So option A for my colors were these 3 grays. I want to use our fingering weight version of Molly Klein yarns because she did all these tonals for us. And as soon as they came in, I knew they were going to be, I hoped they would work well for whatever Steven's mystery knit along was. Since I haven't seen it, I have no idea. We don't, as shop owners, we don't get previews of it. So my option A was my 3 grays, which are silver lining, gargoyle, and ink, with the teal, which is waterfall. That got 9 votes. Option B, which is these 3 plus ocean, the blue. So my sweater that I'm working on right now is these 3 colors. So if I did this as a shawl, I would have a shawl that coordinated with my sweater, but this got a few less votes than the teal. And I do really like the teal. And if you've seen the sweater that Karen's been working on with the minis, it kind of has this feel to it. Or the socks that Joyce did for Steven's mystery sock along had the minis that were kind of in these colors too, that were really cool. But what got the most votes was option C, which was using both the ocean and the waterfall with the dark gray and the light gray. So that's probably what I'm going to go with. I know I had a couple people say take out one of the grays and add another pop of color like an orange or something like that. I want to try and keep it a little more muted, and I really do want to stick with working with our custom colors. So this is probably what I'm going to go with. I still have another week or so to play around with it, change my mind, but I like this a lot. So I think that's probably what I'm going to go with. And we've got plenty of these, all of these colors in stock here, and we can put kits together of whatever one your favorite is and help you find colors. Or as always, with like the Casapinka one, the Stephen West one, I know sometimes 4 skeins at a time, it might not be in your budget. If you have 1 skein or 2 skeins of a fingering weight yarn at home that you love and you think would work well for this, bring them in. Let us help you find a couple other colors to coordinate with it. We're happy to do that. We understand you want to use your stash, but sometimes you need to supplement. We're here for it. We also have the top row of Heritage solids that are always a great affordable option for something like this as well. So that's what's coming up next for me to work on. Soon, we don't have it on the calendar yet, but I kind of wanted to show it and talk about it, but oh, there we are. There's my sample. The reason we didn't have a live last Monday was because Joyce and I were taking a virtual teaching class on a technique called fission knitting, and it's like Fission. Whenever I hear it, I think of like science class in high school and learning like fission versus fusion. But the designer is Mary Martin, and she has come up with this really cool technique to create a two-sided fabric. Hi, Jeannie. A two-sided fabric that is not necessarily mirrored, but kind of has a marled background. Uh-oh. I'm hoping my phone battery doesn't die on my iPhone because that's what I'm going to Facebook on. But I have 20% left, so it should be fine. So fission knitting. This is our little sample. So it kind of looks like this. As you see, the two sides are not, they're not mirrored. It's not only are they different colored cables, but they're in different positions. And that's part of the technique, as well as having like the background be marled and the cables being a solid color. So last Monday, Joyce and I took a class on how to knit how to do the techniques, but also how to teach the techniques. So I'm hoping soon that Joyce and I can sit down and put something on the schedule so she can teach classes on it, because I think it would be really cool. It's a really squishy, fun technique. So Mary Martin has a series of patterns on Ravelry. Let me see if I can find some quick, because it's a really unique idea. She kind of created it and has a whole series of patterns. So let's see, Mary Martin's designs. For those of you who joined late, Melissa's not with me because she is on a road trip for her honeymoon. So I'm on my own trying to post links and do all the things. So I'm doing my best. So that is a link to her patterns that are on Ravelry. They're not all fission patterns, but you can kind of scroll through and see different patterns that she's got. Let's see, what do we have? We have new yarn. We have all three club colors for September. So we are now participating in the Madeline Tosh, with their monthly club color that they call Hue of the Moment. And we get it in fingering weight and in worsted weight. And September's color is called Soft Reboot. And they look different on different bases. So this is the Madeline Tosh color for September, Soft Reboot. They both have the same colors in them, but this one is the worsted, which is Tosh Vintage, 203 yards and 114 grams. And that's the worsted. This is Twist Light, which is my favorite base, my favorite fingering weight base of theirs, because it is got the nylon in it too, 75/25 superwash merino nylon. They both are 3250. The fingering weight has 473 yards on it, so it's got great yardage. So it's got kind of this bluey purples, soft pinks, some grays. You can see the gray a little bit more on the worsted than on the fingering. I've got, it looks like 3 each left, 3 of the worsted and 3 of the fingering. So that's their September color. Dreaming color. Nope, that's not it. I gotta reach further down the table. I told you guys I have a lot. Frozen on the iPad, fine on my phone. Ah, I don't know what the deal is. So when it freezes, can you still hear me, or does everything freeze, like the sound and everything? It could be my Wi-Fi in the shop. I'm not really sure. Well, you're just gonna have to watch it again afterwards to catch back up with everything. Hi again, Aunt Jackie. Okay, so the Dreaming Color pop-up club color for September is called Midnight Carnival. And look at this. It sort of reminds me of mermaid shoes, but it's got more reds in it. Mermaid shoes, it has a little bit of red, but it's more blue and green. This has the blues and greens, but more of the deep reds and purples too. Absolutely beautiful. So this is Dreaming Colors September pop-up, Midnight Carnival. I've got 3 of these. There's a sticky note on one. There are 4 sitting on the counter. Well, there were 4, including this one, but one's got a sticky note on it. So I'm going to say I've got 3 of these left. Um, absolutely gorgeous. In Frozen, I lose audio and visual. Uh, odd. It's because Melissa's not with me. When she's on, things just go smoothly the way they're supposed to go. So these are the smushy cashmere base. So fingering weight 4 ounces, which is around 115 grams, 400 yards, 70% superwash merino, 20% cashmere, 10% nylon. One skein makes a beautiful small scarf or a cowl, an amazing pair of socks, fingerless mitts, a hat, or you could use it in conjunction with another 1 or 2 colors and do a beautiful shawl or like an all point south would be really beautiful with that too. So we've got a couple of those left. And our third club that we get every month is the Wonderland Yarns. Their, what do they call theirs? Tour of the season. So every month from Wonderland Yarns, we get a sport weight yarn inspired by literature. So this one is inspired by the Phantom of the Opera. And what they do with theirs is you get 100-gram skein of yarn, 115 grams, 114 grams, 4 ounces, 344 yards, sport weight yarn. On the inside of the label, they have a froze, but I see your cute face. Well, at least that's something, Aunt Jackie. On the inside of the label, they have QR codes to scan for both special projects as well as yarns just for the sport weight yarn in general. They also come with a little project card, a little work in progress project card that's also an invitation that changes every month. So this one says, the Paris Opera House invites you to witness Christine Daae and Ubaldo. I should know this. Phantom of the Opera was one of my favorites for a long time. Ubaldo Piangi in a bold new opera, Don Juan Triumphant. Curtain rises September 1st at 7 p.m. Box 5 has been reserved for your viewing pleasure. And then you get 2 stitch markers. So one has the book cover, and then this one has the phantom mask on it. These are $35 a piece, and I've got 3 of those left as well. 3 is the number for tonight. Oriana, okay, I will set one of those aside for you. Ugh. I spent the last couple nights in a hotel, and that dry air always gets me. Okay, so those are the club colors for the month. As you can tell behind me, or you can probably see behind me, the fingering weight wall is jam-packed with yarns. We've got all the sparkle, the confetti sparkle sock yarn up there from Wonderland Yarns, and then we got a huge box from Dream in Color of all kinds of gorgeous colors of smushy with cashmere. Those are all up there. I had to kind of rearrange things a little bit. I had a few hooks that just had like one skein of a color. Those are kind of going in they're in a bin somewhere down there, which is kind of a sad place for them to be right now, but I had to sacrifice book space for things with more than one skein. So if you need fingering weight yarn for anything, we've got you. Got a lot of it in all the colors. You can see the neons in the corner over there. You can like, and those are the neons of the Heritage solids, which of course we have across the top row that you can't see because my camera's not wide enough to get all of that and my short head in there at the same time. We got 2 new yarns, 2 new fall yarns from Barocco in. I posted links to some of those too, but I may wait to talk about those next week because there is one more project that I want to kind of do as a little side project that I think is super fun. I think my crocheters will love it. They've probably, if you're on any of the social medias, you've probably seen videos of it. And this is one where I was saying Uh, Variations worsted. Variations doesn't come in worsted, Quinn. It's got variations in fingering and decay. Um, I'm not sure what your question is. Here a moment. So as I was first starting, I was saying I wish there was a way that I could post a photo in the comments, but I can't. Because I've got there's a project going around now where people take um old band t-shirts, but it doesn't have to be because I saw somebody do one with the frog and toad picture on there that I thought was really cute too. Um, did I order variations DK? I ordered it right before I knew that you needed some. So that's on the next order. I swear you guys, it happens every single time. I put an order in and then that day or the next day I come in and somebody else needs more of it. Um, and it's never the thing that I ordered. So hopefully it'll be soon. Why can't I just have a giant shop that has all the things all the time? That would be amazing. And then we would have like 5 tables for classes and people to come in and sit and hang out all the time. Um, but I like it here in the market, so we're gonna stay here for a bit. Okay, so back to my crochet project. So I went to Target and found because I've been thrifting. I love thrifting. You guys know I tend to say that my new way to procrastinate. It used to be procrastinating and now it's thrifting. It is hard to find vintage t-shirts, like band t-shirts and stuff at thrift stores. I have been looking. And I went to one that was specifically just like vintage t-shirts and stuff, and they wanted a crazy amount of money. But lucky for me, Target sells throwback shirts. And so I found this one. I found a couple of them at Target the other day. So if you haven't seen what crocheters have been doing or crafters have been doing is taking old shirts like this, cutting the sleeves and cutting open the edges and crocheting the granny stitch along the side to make it either leave it open like a poncho or then stitch it together so it looks like it's got crocheted kind of an edge like the top that I'm wearing, only it's the granny stitch that goes all the way down the front and back along the sides. So I had to go to Target and get some shirts. I had to go shopping. Um, but this is the one I'm going to start with. So I found this Smashing Pumpkins shirt, which I think is pretty fun, and it's got some really cool colors in it. So I went over to the worsted weight wall and pulled vintage. My plan is the one that I like the most actually used a yarn similar to the shirt color to join it. So I've got vintage in kind of this ashy gray color. I may switch that up to black. I'm not sure. And I've seen a few different methods in terms of how you join. Um, I've seen where if somebody has a rotary tool that you can roll it and it makes little punches in it to then be able to crochet into that. I don't have one of those. Another way I've seen is where they just take a big sharp tapestry needle with the yarn and kind of weave it through so there's something to crochet onto. I have to play around with that a little bit, which is why I'm not too upset that I just went to Target and bought a $12 shirt in order to try this and didn't spend, $30 on a actual throwback vintage shirt. But so I'll start with the dark gray, but then I pulled, and I don't know what order these is going to be in, but I've got this really cool orange, which is called pumpkin. And then I've got black cherry. And then I've got blush and sunny. So each of these is going to be like 2 rows of a granny stitch along the edge. So it'll be like a stripy thing. It's gonna be so cool. I can't wait. Um, that might be this week's project, maybe tomorrow's project, at least to lay the shirt out, get the strips cut, get the sides cut, and get it started. Once I get it started, I think it'll be easy enough to work on here at the shop, but I need to have my table all laid out. If I could get to my cutting table at home, that would be a great use for it, but I can't right now. It's hidden. So if you've got some old vintage shirts, or if you've got a husband that's got some old vintage shirts, that would be a fun little project, way to take them, make them your own. A fun thing about that too is if you're thrifting and you find something like that, it doesn't really matter what size the shirt is because you're cutting the sides off. So you could find, Chris and I were thrifting this weekend. He was like, you're in like the 2XL men's shirt section. You're gonna swim in those, but it doesn't really matter because you could cut off more. I could cut off more of the sides and try and crochet onto them versus, um, and the same goes the other way, where if I found an extra small, I could just do more rows on the edge. So I'm excited about that. I think it's going to be a fun project. And if you can't visualize what I'm trying to explain, hopefully next week I'll have something really cool to show you guys. At least one side of it done. But I think it'll go pretty quick once I get it. As long as the crocheting doesn't mess my arm up too much. Okay, so I did mention we got 2 new fall yarns in from Barocco. If you've been following any of their social medias at all, we got Aurelia and Gianna. So I will just show them off. A couple of the colors of Gianna are back ordered, but Gianna is this beautiful slow color yarn, color change yarn. Pam, I've seen it done on the side of jeans. Yes, I've seen that too. Or where they take jeans and make them flare and then put like a little, almost like create like a pleat in there to make them like flared or bell-bottom jeans. So Barocco Gianna is a new yarn. It's 100 grams, 296 yards for a worsted weight yarn, which is pretty cool. It kind of gives you that Noro effect, but it's a chainette. Again, the chainette yarns are still a very popular thing because you get a really lightweight yarn, but a heavier weight, and pretty good yardage. So 296 yards, and it is wool, cotton, silk, and baby alpaca. So it's got this really kind of pretty fuzzy haze to it. And then we also got Aurelia, which is this also like a fuzzy hazy yarn, cotton and merino. And this is also a worsted and has 267 yards per ball. So I will talk a little bit more about those next week if I remember. I'll make myself a note. But I think I've done enough talking for this evening. I've shown a lot of things. I've got more things to show, but that'll be it for tonight. I don't know if Melissa will be back with me next week. I know they are gone for a week, so I'm not sure when they'll be back in town. She might be exhausted from traveling when she gets back next Monday. But if she watches this later, you all could wish her well in the comments. So if you came on a little bit late, Melissa's not joining me because she is on her honeymoon. She got married this past weekend. It was a beautiful weekend. We had a ton of fun and she looked absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, so now she's a married woman. Okay, so I hope everybody has a great week. If I don't see you in the shop sometime this week, I plan on being back on track now that there's not like a Labor Day holiday or something like that that I'm forgetting about. Oops. Yeah, now my battery's really about to die, so down to 10%. So if we don't see you sometime in the shop this week, I will see everybody back here next Monday at 7. Have a great week. Be creative, enjoy the warmth, but don't get overheated. Feels pretty cool in here. Hopefully it stays that way this week.